Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James has a big decision to make this offseason. Should the 40-year-old run it back for one more year, or is he finally ready to hang up his sneakers? James hasn't answered that question yet, and even his agent is unsure what the Lakers superstar will decide. Rich Paul was asked about James' future on The Rich Eisen Show on Thursday. Paul, who's been James' agent since 2012, said he is unsure if James wants to play another year in the NBA. "I have no idea," Paul said. 0. When pressed on the issue, Paul indicated this is how the process normally works with James. At some point, James and Paul will discuss the issue and James will make a decision about his NBA future. If James does decide to return, he'll also need to figure out if he wants to stay with the Lakers. James has a $52 million player option for the 2025-26 NBA season. If he opts into that deal, he'll remain with the Lakers. If he opts out, James would become a free agent. While it's assumed James will remain in Los Angeles, Paul didn't want to speculate on that during his appearance on Eisen's show, saying, "I wish I had the answer." That shouldn't necessarily come as a surprise. It's early in the off-season and James is dealing with a knee injury. He has plenty of time to reflect on things and see how his rehab goes before making a decision about his future. On that front, Paul said he goes into every off-season assuming James will continue playing. When asked how much longer James will continue his career, Paul said he believes James could play a couple more years physically. It certainly looked that way during the regular season. James still performed at a high level despite his age, averaging 24.4 points, 8.2 assists and 7.8 rebounds per game. At an age where nearly every NBA player is in steep decline, James has found a way to keep father time at bay. It's unclear how much longer that can continue. James will be 41 at the start of the 2025-26 NBA season and has crossed every accolade off his list. The end is almost certainly coming soon, but James showed last season he still has plenty left in the tank if he wants to run it back. The first question, the one that dominated brainwaves and airwaves, tabloid backpages and possibly therapists' billable hours all across the tri-state area on Thursday, is obvious. How the hell did the Pacers just do that? The second question, the one dominating Knicks fans every waking hour until tip-off of Game 2 on Friday night, might be even tougher to parse. How the hell does New York get over it? I think that's the playoffs, that's the challenge, and that's why you always have to reset, head coach Tom Thibodeau told reporters at the Knicks Thursday practice session. There's going to be a lot of emotional highs and lows, and you've got to be able to take a punch, and you've got to be able to bounce back. Given the punch New York just took, that seems like an awfully tall order. How do you get over losing a game that you led by 14 points with 2:51 remaining in the fourth quarter, and by 9 with 58.8 seconds to go? How do you get past coming up short when All-Stars Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns combined for 78 points on 42 shots, the first time in franchise history that two Knicks have each scored 35 or more in a playoff affair, and the first pair of teammates ever to do it in an Eastern Conference Finals game, according to Justin Kubatko of Statitudes? How do you move on from dropping a game that had been New York's best offensive outing of the 2025 NBA playoffs, a 135.2 offensive rating with 2:51 to go, miles ahead of what the Knicks had mustered against Detroit or Boston? How do you get over seeing Brunson leave the floor after picking up his fifth foul with 10:05 to go, ripping off 14 consecutive points without the clutch player of the year on the court, and that's still not being enough? In the playoffs, when you win, it's the best thing ever, Brunson said after Game 1. When you lose, it's the worst thing ever. Step 1 in moving on, according to Thibodeau, not moving on. Not until you've relived it and taken accountability for it. You go through the game, you go through end of game, you go through it all, Thibodeau said Thursday. And then, what did you learn from it? And what can we commit to? For the Knicks, reviewing the film from Game 1, especially the final 2:51 of regulation and 5-minute overtime session, during which Indiana outscored the hosts 33-16, probably felt like subjecting themselves to the Ludovico technique. On the other side of the masochism, though, lay a message. More than the missed shots and turnovers, it was their defense that let them down. We scored 135 points, Thibodeau said. That should be more than enough. It wasn't, because Indiana scored 31 points on its final 13 possessions of regulation, according to NBA.com's John Schumann, many of them coming with Knicks defenders too far out of guarding position to make an impact.